Or have any of you heard of crowdfunding before this? No idea. Great, awesome. So today I'm just going to give you a very quick, brief description of what crowdfunding is, and then I'll walk you through what we do in 100% Project and how we try to enable and empower teachers in the Malaysian public school. So before I begin, I just want to introduce you to our team because it sets context to why we are doing this. So there is myself and Emilia and Andrew. So three of us are co-founders of this platform. I used to be a teacher, similar to Sharon. I used to be a teacher nearby in school here in Sabah, called SNK Tanjung Sabah, and I used to teach mathematics to 16 and 17-year-old. And having done that for 2 years, I then left and joined the organization, Teach for Malaysia, working exclusively with donors and public donations. Right? And one thing that I noticed is that when I went and spoke to a lot of donors, together with Emilia, then joined us in the team, we noticed that there was a strong need for corporations to want to give back to the society, and they're looking for a great avenue to do so. However, on the other side, we also see a lot of classrooms that want great teaching, innovative teaching methods in the classroom, but everything sometimes costs some amount of money, right? So let's say you want to bring a great program into your school, maybe they cost about 300 ringgit, maybe they cost about 2,000 ringgit, but either way they cost money, and sometimes teachers actually take out their own pocket money to pay for those so that it can enhance the students' learning experience. So that's what we try to solve. But before I actually explain how the solution comes about, I just want to walk you through a little introduction to what crowdfunding is. So in short, crowdfunding has two things that it really tries to do. One, we're actually sourcing funds or donations from the general public for a specific cause. And what do these people, this pool of people, what do they receive in return? It's three things. One, of course, is the warm and glow. So when they actually donate, they feel warm and they feel happy about it. The second one is they actually get stuff in return. So stuff here could be in the form of a thank you note. It could be in the form of a simple gift from a kid or a teacher. So these are two formats that can happen. Then the other one is equity. So crowdfunding has been applied across the board, not just for education, but also businesses. So in some businesses, when they actually raise money from the public, they actually give in return a certain stake inside a company called equity. But for equity, we will not be looking into that. It's more about the first two, the warm glow and stuff. But before we go into the nitty-gritty part of it, these are two examples of what has been successful as a platform in the US. So Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform that is immensely successful in the US. And what they raise money for? A couple of things, but I mean, a lot of things. One of the things, that example here, is a business that actually makes jackets, hoodies. So what this person has is that they came out with an idea, they have designed pen, they have got this brilliant idea that they think will actually benefit the public, therefore they then put it up on the platform to raise money, and in return, they actually either give this hoodies for those who have invested money initially so that they can make the production of this come live. So that's a very small example of what it looks like in the US, and this has been done quite a few years. Next slide. This is another example of another successful platform called Indiegogo in the US. So this concept is not new. What is new is that we take the same concept and apply it into education, specifically in Malaysia. Thanks. So what do we do? 100% Project. There's three things. One, we help teachers obtain resources for their classroom projects. We engage the public and connect them to classroom projects in need, and we build a community. Why we put it up on a platform, or on an online platform, is because we really want to gather these amazing people within the corporate sector, within the public sector, within NGOs, classrooms, and etc. We want to bring them and show them what some of the amazing teachers in the classroom are doing. And what those classrooms are doing is, so the process is, for a donor, for someone who's looking for a project to fund, they actually come to the platform, they find a project, they fund it, and then they receive either an update or they receive something like a thank you note, right? And so what these teachers do, the best way to explain it would probably be to walk you through an example, a real-life example of a successful project. So here is Cikgu Nigel. Cikgu Nigel is a teacher in SMK, he's a teacher. He is of an engineering background. And one of the things that he's been passionate about is that he wanted to teach his kids engineering, robotics. So build Lego robots. And it's really cool that he wanted to build it, and he actually did it nonetheless without any own funding and everything. But ultimately, it came down to the point where he needed his kids to actually go to this Young Innovate competition. And it cost money to bring these kids to participate in the Young Innovate competition. While they have built all this amazing stuff, one thing that was lacking is the funding to bring these kids, this group of 4 teams, to actually participate in this event, Young Innovate competition. So eventually he raised the money on our platform, 100% project. He put it up as a request, got the funding. Once he raised the funding, he then brought his 4 teams to that Young Innovate competition, and he managed to even get them to be top 3. So these kids, they actually built this EcoBot, and what it actually does, it actually is like a recycle bin that actually segregates the plastic, paper, and glass, the 3 things on its own. So this is what the students built, and he actually got to be one of the top 3 for this Young Innovate competition, so which is great. And it was possible because we raised the money from the general public who wanted this for his students. So in terms of how the platform itself looks, these are some of the project cards that are successful. So one of the teachers requested to bring the 4 teams to Young Innovate competition. One of them actually wanted to bring the selected 10 underprivileged children from a school in Kedah to KL for the very first time, and managed to make that a success. So the whole time I've been actually talking about raising funds for a project and making this successful. But one of the things that we really are proud to be doing is that we wanted to show the general public what amazing teachers are doing in the classroom. Because a lot of times, I've seen in my own school, I've seen in schools that I've visited, a lot of these teachers are like silent heroes who do amazing stuff, but most of the time, their stories don't get heard. And so when we put these projects up, it not only inspires other teachers to do and to want to do more, but it also gives the opportunity for the public to really understand what these teachers in the classroom are doing. And the more support they get, then the more that they want to do more. And the other thing is that because it's a technology, so how many of you have actually heard about a school or this little island called Crowdfunding? You have one, and I'm sure some of you all have heard about this. But for me, frankly, I've never heard about it, and I thought Crowdfunding would probably be somewhere nearby or somewhere I can actually access in the next 2 hours. But then when I actually looked it up on Google Maps and saw that the Pulau is actually a small little island at the fringes of Sabah. But the amazing thing is, this teacher discovered this platform 100% project and actually started the projects up to raise on our platform. So what this shows is that although in the community in Pulau they may not have the necessary resources or the public support in that community, they can actually tap into the wider network from the entire Malaysia. So that's the other thing. I would actually love to show a very quick demonstration of 100% project. So this is actually the platform itself. This is what the site looks like. If I just go to one of the projects that are currently raising money, let's go to the okay, so this teacher is Cikgu Jason. There's also a teacher teaching in Miri, Sarawak. And the interesting thing about this teacher is that he's been tasked to teach 2 things. One is sejarah and the other one is art class. And while teaching arts to these students is a big task for him, what he tried to do is he tried to find resources that will make art a lot more easier, a lot more fun, a lot more practical for his students who have got years to catch up with. So then he came up with this amazing tool because he is an architecture background teacher. So his background is an architect, and then he decided to become a teacher. And when he saw his students struggling, he reached out to his architect school network and saw that there's this one tool, it's called ISO Sketch 3D, that enables students to actually know what perspectives are in art. So amazing things. The thing is, I'm not an art teacher, so I didn't know what he was saying. But what I saw is that he's passionate to know what he wants to teach and how to achieve the learning objectives for his students, and he was passionate about that to raise the money here. So it's been successful so far. And it's still going on and it's still raising, so it's raised 1,480 out of the amount. So I know some of you, the questions that you may have at this point is, how do you guarantee that the teachers actually execute this project, and how do you keep the process entirely accountable and transparent? So coming from a background of a teacher and then joining an NGO, I knew that one of the most important things is transparency and accountability. So what we did is that if you go down all the way to the bottom of this page, 100% project, we have something called our 100% commitment. So 100% of the money raised from the public goes directly to the project owners. So 100% raised, let's say the teachers raising 1,400, it goes to the teachers' project. The other thing is when that disbursement is made, when the money is actually given out, we put it transparent, we put our receipts actually out on our platform itself. So there is a link, go down and click, this is what loads, and here is the exact transaction that has been made. And this is an example of a receipt that we actually put it out there for public to know that this has been transferred. Right? So this is the first part. The other element is also, we don't want to give the money to a teacher's personal account because it becomes a very contentious issue, right? So therefore, we actually work with the teacher. Before they actually put a project up on our platform, they need to secure approval from the headmaster, they need to secure approval from the PIPG. And even the money is actually banked into their PIPG account to keep it such that the PIPG will keep this teacher accountable for actually making that request and seeing it through to execution. So once they are executed, then there is a report that they will need to actually produce. So this is the accountability measures that has been put forth. And essentially, that's what we are. We are in the business of actually trying to empower teachers to want to do more. Thank you.